She's back. After years away from the squared circle, AJ Lee just shocked the wrestling world on Monday Night Raw, and what this means for Elimination Chamber is insane. What's up, Suplex Rumble family? Welcome back to the channel where we break down everything happening in the world of professional wrestling. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because you do not want to miss our coverage of what could be the biggest return story of the year. Today, we're diving deep into AJ Lee's stunning return to Monday Night Raw. We're talking about what happened, why this matters so much for the women's division, what this could mean for Elimination Chamber, and where this story might be heading. This is going to be good, so let's get into it. Alright, let's set the scene. Monday Night Raw is building toward Elimination Chamber, right? The women's division has been heating up with several superstars making their case for championship opportunities. We've got intense rivalries, we've got unfinished business, and the energy in the arena is absolutely electric. Now, I don't want to describe specific entrance music because of copyright reasons, but you know the moment I'm talking about. That unmistakable theme that we haven't heard in years. The crowd erupts. We're talking about a reaction that shook the rafters. Signs are flying up, fans are on their feet, and social media immediately explodes. AJ Lee walks out onto that stage, and let me tell you, the charisma, the confidence, the presence, it's like she never left. She's got that signature intensity in her eyes, that skip in her step that made her one of the most unique performers in wrestling history. The interesting thing here is how this return played out. This wasn't just a surprise pop-up appearance. AJ grabbed a microphone, and she had something to say. She addressed the current women's roster directly, she acknowledged her time away from wrestling, and she made it crystal clear that she's not back just to make an appearance, she's back to compete at the highest level. What really stood out to me was the respect she showed to the current generation of women's wrestlers. She talked about how the division has evolved, how talented the current roster is, but she also made it clear that she helped build this division, and she's ready to prove she can still hang with the absolute best. The segment ended with a face-to-face confrontation that has massive implications for Elimination Chamber, which we'll get into in just a bit. Now, for those who might be newer fans or need a refresher on why this return is such a big deal, let's talk about AJ Lee's legacy in professional wrestling. AJ Lee isn't just another former champion returning for a nostalgia pop. During her time in wrestling, she was a three-time women's champion, and she held one of those titles for an impressive 295 days, a record at the time that stood for years. But her impact goes way beyond championship reigns and statistics. AJ was a game-changer for women's wrestling. At a time when women's matches were often treated as afterthoughts, given minimal time, and relegated to the pre-show, AJ Lee was proving that women could be the main event. She could cut promos with the best of them, she could work any style in the ring, and she had a character that was absolutely captivating. Her in-ring psychology was incredible. Every match told a story. She could be the underdog fighting from underneath, she could be the cunning heel using her intelligence to outsmart opponents, she could be the unhinged wild card that kept everyone guessing. That versatility is rare, and it's what made her special. Beyond the ring, AJ was an advocate for change. She spoke up about the treatment of women in wrestling, about equal opportunities, about being taken seriously as athletes. She was part of the foundation that the current women's revolution was built upon. So when AJ Lee returns in 2026, this isn't just a comeback, it's a statement. It's a bridge between the era that fought for respect and the current era that's reaping those benefits. And that makes this return meaningful. The women's division today looks completely different from when AJ left. We're seeing women headline major pay-per-view events, we're seeing women main event television shows regularly, we're seeing 30-minute classics that steal the show. The talent level has skyrocketed, the opportunities have expanded, and the respect from fans and the company is at an all-time high. The question everyone is asking is, can AJ Lee compete in this environment? Can someone who's been away from the ring for years step back in and hang with the current generation of elite women's wrestlers? That's what makes this so compelling. It's not guaranteed success, there's real stakes here, real questions to be answered. Let's talk about Elimination Chamber because AJ's return has thrown a wrench into everyone's plans. Before Monday's Raw, we had a pretty clear picture forming of who would be competing at Elimination Chamber. Now, everything's been turned upside down. During her promo, AJ made it clear she wants in on the Elimination Chamber match, and based on the authority figure's reactions, it seems like she's going to get her opportunity. This creates fascinating dynamics. You've got current superstars who have been working week in and week out, grinding to earn their spot, and now here comes AJ Lee stepping right into a premium live event match. On one hand, that's the star power and name recognition that AJ brings. On the other hand, you can understand why some of the current roster might feel like they've earned it more. And that tension? That's great storytelling. That's what makes wrestling compelling. It's not just about the matches, it's about the emotions, the motivations, the conflicting perspectives that all have validity. The Elimination Chamber environment is perfect for AJ's return match. Think about it, she doesn't have to carry a match for 25 minutes straight. The staggered entry format means she can have moments to recover. The environment allows for strategy, for weapons to be used, for creative spots that can highlight her strengths while protecting any ring rust that might exist. Plus, the unpredictable nature of an Elimination Chamber match means AJ doesn't have to win to look credible. A strong showing, some memorable moments, and an elimination or two could establish her right back at the top of the division without immediately putting a championship on her. The dream match possibilities here are endless. Imagine AJ Lee across the ring from some of the current generation's biggest stars. We could see technical classics, we could see hard-hitting battles, we could see psychological warfare. One matchup that has fans particularly excited is the potential for AJ to share the ring with someone she never faced during her original run. Think about the fresh opponents, the new style she'd be working with, the different characters she'd be bouncing off of. That's the beauty of returning after several years. There's a whole roster of fresh matchups. And here's something interesting to consider: what if AJ isn't working alone? She's always been someone who could play any role: face, heel, tweener. What if she's aligned herself with current superstars? What if there are surprises still to come? The mystery and speculation is part of what makes this fun. Now, the big question on everyone's mind: is this a one-time appearance, a short-term run, or is AJ Lee back for the long haul? Based on her comments Monday night, this feels like more than a quick nostalgia hit. She talked about unfinished business. She talked about wanting to prove herself against the current generation. That language suggests someone who's planning to stick around, at least for a significant storyline. If AJ is back for an extended run, the possibilities are incredible. She could put over younger talent in meaningful programs. She could have the dream matches with current stars that fans have been fantasy booking for years. She could potentially build toward one more championship run that would give her career a proper final chapter. There's also the mentorship angle. AJ has experience, knowledge, and wisdom that could benefit the next generation. We could see storylines where she's working with younger wrestlers, passing the torch, helping elevate the next wave of talent while still being an active competitor herself. The response to AJ's return has been overwhelming. Within minutes of her appearance, she was trending worldwide on social media. Wrestling news sites crashed from traffic. YouTube was flooded with reaction videos. This is the kind of moment that breaks through beyond just the wrestling bubble and reminds the mainstream that wrestling can still create genuine surprise and excitement. What's particularly cool is seeing fans from different eras come together. You've got longtime fans who remember AJ's original run feeling validated and nostalgic. You've got newer fans who've only heard the stories finally getting to see what the hype was about. And you've got everyone excited to see what happens next. That's the power of a well-executed return. It's not just about the person coming back, it's about creating a moment that resonates across the entire fanbase and generates legitimate excitement for the future. AJ's return doesn't just affect Elimination Chamber, it affects the entire landscape of the women's division moving forward. Other veterans might be inspired to return. Current wrestlers are going to up their game knowing they might share the ring with a legend. Storylines are going to shift and adapt to incorporate this new dynamic. We might see alliances formed. We might see rivalries reignited. We might see new feuds born from the clash between old school and new school. The division just got exponentially more interesting, and that benefits everyone from the wrestlers to the fans. So there you have it, Suplex Rumble family, a complete breakdown of AJ Lee's shocking return to Monday Night Raw and what it means for Elimination Chamber and beyond. This is exactly the kind of moment that reminds us why we love professional wrestling. The surprise returns, the dream matchups, the intersection of past and present, the genuine excitement of not knowing what's going to happen next. AJ Lee is back, and the women's division just became must-see television. Before we go, I want to know your thoughts. Are you excited about AJ's return? What matchups do you want to see? Do you think she can compete at the highest level after time away? Drop your comments down below. I read every single one and I love discussing wrestling with you all.